why are you disqualifying yourself? You know what I mean? As soon as you wake up, then that if God's giving you breath on this day,
that little voice in there was like, ooh, but what happens if you fail?
Yeah.
How would he teach us adversity if he gave us everything?
Yep.
If we had everything, would there just be another task like, hey, I gave you all these tools, but like, I don't know.
Where's the growth? Where's the growth?
What assignment would he have then given? Hey, everyone. Nope, music.
I was ready.
I was.
He said, yo, let's go.
Oh, man. Well, hey, everyone. This is Mark, and this is Willie here, and we are the A.M.E.N brothers. We're here to just speak to you on, more narrative note on how God's been working in our lives and discussing various topics.
Yeah.
And today we got Willie hitting us off with some good stuff.
Well, as we were preparing for this episode, I was just thinking about like new beginnings.
Yes.
Right? And how it's exciting, and then it's scary, and then it's exciting again, and then you're like, am I doing the right thing? And then I don't have this, or I don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's how my brain works.
Yeah.
So, a lot of new beginnings, for me, but just overall, it's a pattern for me, when I have, but whatever, it's an idea or thought or feeling, and it's new. It's like just the most exciting thing in the world, right? I'm calling you. I'm calling my mama. I'm
Mama!
telling them what's on my mind. You know what I mean? And it's the best thing. But where I usually fall short, when it gives me an idea or feeling or vision, that's usually it for a little minute in terms of like my inclusion of God in the process. I'm like, thanks, but all right, I'm gonna take it on from here, basically. And that's not my goal.
Yeah.
But then usually when I reflect on it, some time later, and I'm like, why am I feeling so stressed out? Why am I feeling so bogged down? And then I'm reminded, well, you took the gift and then you didn't tip the man. You know what I mean? And so so today just kind of wanted to talk just talk about that, and what are your thoughts on new beginnings and sort of the patterns and the cycles that you've experienced?
Yeah, new beginnings, man. There are, like you said, they're scary.
Speaking of which, also, right, you're getting prepared for state boards.
Yes.
A new beginning for
Definitely
you.
Definitely that. It's like, when you start off with a goal, right, and then it takes a while, and you kind of just, you get in the flow. Sometimes you have to continue reminding yourself, like, what you're doing this for.
Yeah.
And, when I graduated, there was a certain point where it just hit me, and I'm like, oh, my God, I can't believe I'm at this point, right? And I was so used to the struggle, right? That I didn't have time to think about, the end of a new beginning.
Yeah.
Right. Like what I was doing this for.
Yeah.
So, new beginnings are a great time to reflect, a great time to be humble, but also it is just so unnerving or nerve-wracking to know that, okay, I'm here. I've arrived, right? And like, for example, yesterday I was telling you, I was like starting to kind of rebrand myself on social media. And I've been wanting to do this for so long, right? But I just had this imposter syndrome of like, well, you can't try to rebrand yourself to be this type of like mental health advocate if you haven't even graduated or passed your board. So, bro, I'm struggling with this yesterday.
Okay.
And I'm like, nah, like, I'm not doing this again. Like, I didn't go through 5 years of all this education, all this commitment I've put in, to be like, you got to wait for that one last thing. I'm like, I am a nurse practitioner.
That's right.
Right now.
That's right.
Right? Even me saying it right now, I still hear that little voice in my head saying, but.
It feels a little cringe.
It feels a little cringy, right?
Yeah.
But like, I have to accept that. I have to accept it. And I started beating my chest. I stood up and I was like, no, I am that. I am that.
Wait, you did this in the middle of Costco?
I did.
What?
No, I would have. That would have caused that would have caused a scene.
Could have been
I
calling me
was,
like, "Yo, Will,
yeah.
I need."
Whoop, whoop. Hey, man.
Bro, no hesitation. Lord Jesus.
Anyway, no, I was in the office,
Okay,
and I was
okay.
by myself.
Okay.
but but I did stand up, and I was like beating my chest, like, no, believe that this is who you are.
Yeah.
You know, I was pumping myself up because I'm like, man, I'll be the first one to pump somebody else up.
And you know what? That you just said something super important, right? We're the first people, right?
Man.
Speak specifically
Yes.
speaking. Man, I've seen you do it. You've done it to me. I hopefully I've done it for you.
Oh, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
we'll big up, a person in a second. You know what I mean? We might not even know whatever. But we're like, yo, like I believe in you. I know you can do
Boom,
it.
boom,
But when
boom.
it comes to ourselves, we're like our own
Yeah,
worst enemy.
worst
But I
enemy.
love what you said, right? When you were in the middle of Costco and you start beating your chest like a crazy person. I love that because that was to me, that was worship, right? Because naturally, internally, right, the wheels are going to be turning. It's new, it's scary. You don't know what you're doing, right? And so that's just natural human instinct. But when we say, nope, stop. He gave me the desire, and he's going to give me the ability, and we start to speak into who he is and who he created us to be and who we believe, we believe what he's going to do for us in this season. That's worship. It's not always, it doesn't always have to be music, but it's like, to me, it's saying out loud with passion and belief. And we're athletes the same way, you know what I mean? We get excited about a victorious moment. That's powerful. So
Yeah.
that's beautiful.
And he just reminded me. Another form of worship that I did was so for your. I had to select a date for my test,
Okay.
right, to take my cert, right. And so there's a process to just get that authorization,
Okay.
right. So it took about like maybe.
So you pick a date and it has to be authorized? Like somebody has to agree to it?
So I have to send papers so that I graduated. I did my clinical hours and this and that to the they call it ANCC, a credentialing.
The credentialing,
center. Yeah.
yep.
So then the process goes,
Yep.
and then you're waiting for them to come back and say you're authorized to take this test,
Okay.
kind of like the NCLEX.
Yeah.
So then, exactly like the NCLEX. So then, when I got it,
Which is for nurses.
yes,
For your
yes,
BSN, yes.
So then when I got it, I was like, oh my god, like this is the test, right?
Yeah.
And then just me being silly, I was like, you know what? I could have clicked the link to just go online and do it, right? And I was like, no. This is my moment.
okay.
And that was at work when this
Okay,
happened, right?
okay.
And I was like, this is my moment. This is 5 years of work. I can't just click on this and be like, let me schedule my test. You know what I did?
What'd you do?
Got my headphones.
Oh,
Got on Spotify.
Okay.
And played this
Dangerously in Love?
How Life Should Go
Oh.
by Wale and
Oh.
what's his name? Oh my God, Detroit.
Big Sean.
Big Sean.
Okay. Shout
And
out.
just let the music beat.
Wow.
Do. So in the back, it's going, and I'm feeling like, in the movies, like
Yeah.
the montage where you have this. I have theme music.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I was feeling it, and I clicked on it, and then in the back, it's just playing.
Wow.
And I'm setting on my stuff, and I was like, I'm gonna make this a core memory for me, because no one else
That's
is gonna
good.
celebrate me.
That's right.
Except
That's good.
me.
That's really good.
Right?
That's
and that
really
was
good.
me really giving adoration to God that, like, we made it. Like,
Yeah.
if you listen to the lyrics to that song, bro, it gets me so worked up, because it's just like the essence of that song is basically, we finally made it. I'm gonna take care of my family. Who's with me, you coming with me. Who wasn't, I don't care about you. And this is the way life should go.
I love it. I love
so
that.
that was another form of worship. But
Yeah.
again, I can't lie. That little voice in there was like, ooh, but what
Imposter
happens
syndrome.
if you fail?
Yeah.
And I'm like, nah. So I started putting the volume louder, and I was like, nah, I'm canceling you out. That is a perfect description of, I feel like, what people go through
Yep.
in a bigger scale. And I was going through that in my little, and I put in the work, and most of us put in the
Yeah.
work.
Yeah. You got to believe. I mean, Kobe. I mean, people always quote Kobe, right? Kobe and Jordan, they always said that their confidence came from their preparation.
Yes.
They knew they put in the work. They knew they put in the
Yes.
hours. They knew that they were in the gym when nobody else was in the gym. They knew that if they invited somebody to the gym and work out, they basically had already worked out before they even got there. The sheer volume that they built are in the habits that gave them the confidence. It wasn't this, they woke up one morning and just decided that they were him. Like,
Yes.
no, they became him,
Yes.
because of the work that they
Yes.
put in.
And I
You
think
know?
and I think the sorry
No, no, no. This is great. This is great.
the thing that I think that separates those that are been putting in the work and then succeeding so exponentially from like just exceeding expectations. I think that last X factor is the component of faith.
Yeah.
Right, so I know I've been putting in the work. I know I've been I've been doing all this stuff. But I think once I put that theme music on, that was like my evidence of faith.
Yeah.
Like, I know God got me. I
Yeah.
know that I've done what He is required of me, and now this is. And I'll tell Him, this is your turn now.
Yeah.
This is your turn to show up. I did mine. Now make your promise true. Right,
But and also in a way, right? He already has.
and
He already has, right? Every milestone, every kind of when you're on the precipice of something new, he's already done his part. And by you getting to this point, you also have done your part.
Right.
Right? It's a partnership. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like everybody has to show up, but his is automatic.
right.
Ours is questionable.
Ours-
You see what I'm
So-
saying?
so
And so
He's
so-
just waiting for like, you gonna get here?
Exactly,
or-
because he walks ahead of us. So
Right.
it's his part is already
He's
done.
like, yeah,
it's just a
come on.
matter of if or when you decide to show up, and in what
I always
capacity.
imagine you walk into a room and his legs are crossed and he's like, it's about time you got here. Like,
Hey,
man,
honestly, that was us this morning. That was us this morning. I was
tell the people.
Yo.
Tell the people. Oh,
so
man.
we set the time right. We're gonna come in and we're gonna start recording at a certain time. And Mark, to his credit, he lives much further away from
True.
the studio than I do.
True.
So it takes him a little bit of time. And so in my mind this morning, when I pulled in, plus you got a new whip, so I don't recognize your car anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
So
that's
when
right.
I pulled in, I was like, I don't see his car. I'm gonna wait for him. Good thing I didn't. Some told me to just get my behind up here. And when I walked in, I seen Gersh, I seen everybody out there, which I didn't expect them to be here either. And then I walk in and I see your big feet, and I was like, wait a minute, what's going on here? He already here, ready, praying.
Bible
I'm like,
open and
Bible
everything.
open. I'm like, wait, what? So that's how God is.
That's how God is.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So.
So he does that more often.
He does
than
that
I
way
do.
more often. Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah. So just talking about fresh starts, and as exciting as it is, it's also a moment and a time where we should lock in and connect with Him even more, right? And go lockstep, hand in hand, and really lock in, because at that time, we usually just get so overwhelmed with preparation and all the things that it's going to take to see this go through, that it's really, really easy to just kind of leave them by the wayside and think, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this. And, it's just, I think it's just human nature. I don't even think it's a conscious thing a lot of times, you know what I mean? But it ends up being, it can end up being a whole lot more tumultuous if we're not constantly also checking in with Him. I've been going through that,
Yeah.
or I've gone through that just recently, freaking up to this week.
Yeah.
In preparation, I had to stop myself so many times, and thankfully, I have a lovely wife who also has reminded me.
Shout out to Betty.
Shout out to Betty, who is constantly reminding me, hey, you stressed out? Have you prayed about it? You know what I mean? Have you prayed about it? Right? And it's funny because we talk about she's in the process of getting baptized soon and stuff like that, and so it's just funny that thankfully, and not trying to toot my own horn or anything, but thankfully I feel like I've done a good enough job as a husband to at least show her that, to where she's used to that, to where now she can she can get on my butt like, yo, you tripping? Okay, have you been praying? Like, stop tripping. You know what I mean? But anyway. But the first verse I want to go over is Isaiah 43, verse 18 and 19. It says, forget the former things, do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? Right? I think when we're getting ready to do something different, we usually bring some sort of unnecessary baggage with us. Right? And I think that that's part of that impostor syndrome. We think of the things that we've been through, or the things that the people who've hurt us, or maybe if we've made some mistakes, and we carry that along with us into this new thing, when God has already called you and qualified you to do this new thing. So why are you disqualifying yourself? You know what I mean? As soon as you wake up, then that if God's giving you breath on this day, and you've, ideally, right, ask for forgiveness and things like that, right, and you turn your heart in the right direction. Well, it's brand new. You don't need to. You don't need any extra baggage. You know what I mean? All you need is a carry on. You don't need nothing else. Anything else is going to weigh you down, slow you down, and distract you. It's not going to stop. It's not going to stop God's plan for you. But you're slowing down yourself.
That just reminds me. I've been having this desire, man, since I finished. I'm a big purger. Like I'm a big declutterer.
Yeah, which is super super important for our ADHD.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love it. And so I've been kind of busy with work and stuff kind of getting in the way. Like I haven't got to the time to make. I'm talking about just I can't wait, right? And so but that reminds me of that. Like it's so important to realize you're stepping into a new spot and get that carry on.
Yeah.
Everything, like I have papers and I have emails and I have all this stuff, and I'm like, I am stepping into a new chapter. I need to get rid of all that stuff. So when I look at my computer, which is my lifeline, right? It's all about the now and the future.
Yes.
Right. And so I think if I know it's as simple as deleting your emails may seem, I don't know. To me, it sounds orgasmic, but to others, maybe like, well, why do I do? I'm just going to leave all my emails. But there's something about,
or they don't understand the significance of it.
Yes. But there's something about purging out the old. I mean, that's what we have spring cleaning, right?
Yep.
There is something, I promise you, at least for me, very spiritual about purging out the old and making room for the new. Right.
Well, just like in the Bible, right? It says you can't put new wine in old wineskins. Right.
There you go.
Yeah,
There's something about that, because not only are you spiritually renewing yourself, but I think mentally, like just go from a brain, let's go neurobiology aspect. Right. We're about to go school
I told
time,
you you were a scholar.
It's about to be that, right?
Yep.
Your brain now in your hippocampus is basically like, man, I remember all this stuff that I used to have in my past. Oh my gosh, he is now deleting it. Your gray matter, where it processes all your cognitive thoughts, your stuff you're doing, is now seeing he doesn't want this anymore. He or she doesn't want this anymore. Out.
Yeah.
Take it out.
Yeah.
Because now he's trying to remember. Now we're trying to make new connections to new memories that's going to serve him or her for whatever their new purpose is.
Exactly. So because we're not bringing anything.
You're not bringing anything
unnecessary.
Unless we're going to only bring the things that we were training for that's going to be relevant.
Yeah.
Because if you keep that past, what's going to happen? I feel like is like, say you meet someone. Ooh, this is good. This is good. Because I thought this yesterday. I put out my newsletter, right?
Okay.
And that is a great.
But so the newsletter is not Grit.
It's called Grit. I'm sorry.
There we
yes.
go.
But the topic I was putting was talking about faith and trauma resilience, right?
Yep.
And basically, when I posted it, I was like, okay, it doesn't have any references because it's a newsletter. It's just I'm getting information, real life information from people, and just disseminate out there for the public.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So finishing school, I'm like, well, all the papers we've done was called references and all this stuff like that. But I was like, this is not that type of thing. It's just a space, right? And so I'm thinking to myself, like, oh, somebody that's more qualified, right? Maybe coming for me or trying to fact check me or something like that, whatever. And I'm like, it has to be this, it has to be that, it has to be this. And I remember one of my mentors, Gersh, said, no, like, what's your purpose on this?
Yeah.
What are you doing this for?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you're trying to create a space, a platform for people who don't have a voice to read what maybe they couldn't say. Right. So what I'm trying to say is basically, if you let the past stuff in your mind where you're feeling this imposter syndrome or you're feeling insecure, right? You don't purge that out of your system and then recognize you're this new brand person. The stuff from your past is going to affect you, and you're going to start making decisions off of the stuff you didn't purge away, that you didn't dump off, that you didn't let go, that you say, you know what? The reason I felt insecure my first year as a student in as a psych MP was because I didn't know and I didn't have the knowledge.
Right.
Now I do have the knowledge.
Right.
So now I can take that statement of I'm not enough out of the way because I am enough now. Now I'm going to go forward and do what I do.
Okay. Now I want to push back a little bit.
Let's go.
I want to push back a little bit because I think that every new beginning, right? Whether it's a school year or like you, right? You just finished, you were getting ready to state boards, right? And you're getting ready to, do what you're going to do. I think the imposter syndrome is still going to be with you. It might be different, but I think it's going to be bigger. You see what I'm saying?
What do you mean bigger?
Well, because you're in a new thing.
Yes.
Right. So it's new, and as exciting as it is, it's also scary because, right? I know you pretty well, and I know you want to do a heck of a job, right? So you're going to prepare and over prepare, but we're not in charge of the outcome, right? We're just in charge of doing the work, right?
True.
And so, like for me, right, like I'm excited, and for me it's a little bit different. I'm doing the same thing that I was already doing, but just in a different space. But now I also have to know
You
how
have
to
more
run a
responsibility.
business.
Yes.
You see what I mean?
Yes.
And so maybe not imposter syndrome, but there's a fear there.
I guess what I'm saying is you're right. I guess what I'm saying is whatever that thing in the past that you didn't purge that will arrest you from being the new you.
So you're saying don't let it handicap you.
Yes.
Okay. There we go. I love that. Yeah. Yeah. And so that's exactly the point that I wanted to make.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not to say I got all the answers, but I've learned that I can and I should move forward, although the imposter syndrome is there. Like, the imposter syndrome isn't there. To me, at this point, I look at it just like I just said to you right now. I look at it as, hey, I'm scared because I care.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's it. It has no bearing on the end result. So you can keep moving forward. And so with that in mind, right, we're going to talk about God's promises for the future, right? Like we said, imposter syndrome it's not indicative of anything that's going to happen for the outcome. So when we look at Jeremiah chapter 23, verse 11, it says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope in the future." And literally every time I read that verse, when I am scared, I'm like, okay, this makes sense. I might not obviously know, and I might not even be able to, I might not carry those feelings of hope right now, but this verse right here empowers me so much in the moment. Like, I read it right now and I'm like, oh, this is cool. But when I really need it, it hits me way different, because this tells me, just from the word plan, he literally has structured. It's not just like a wish. It's structured. You know what I mean? He's mapped it all out. He's gone before us. And so, once again, like we talked about, it's just up to us if we decide to walk in the room that he's already sitting in, waiting on it for us. And I love that.
Jeremiah
I love that he's
29,
already
11. That's beautiful.
I love that he's already there. He already knows what's going on. And whether to us we perceive it as good or bad, it's ultimately going to be a stepping stone and prepare us for what's ahead. You see what I'm saying? Because what we're looking at might be scary or unknown, or it might not look like the ideal next step.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't walk into it.
Yeah.
Or try it.
Yeah.
Or just be obedient and do the thing. You see what I'm saying? It might not give you the accolades or the praise yet that you think are part of the end result, but that doesn't mean that it's not going to work out for you see what I'm saying? Like, there's a discernment, but once again, it all goes back to relationship. It all goes back to spending time with him. It all goes back to studying Jesus in order to get to know the God that we serve, right? If we want to know God, we have to get to know Jesus, right? He is God here on earth, and then he's in us. So, what do you think?
Yeah. There's one here is Ezekiel 36:26. I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit in you.
Yeah.
And,
come on now.
Revelation 21:5 says, he who was seated on the throne said, I am making everything new.
Yep.
Right? I just had a thought about just like when you're entering a new space, how important it is to just reflect on your journey. If you take 5 minutes, take a couple of days or weeks, whatever, right? I think you should write down your story. I think sometimes we move this fast-paced world, right? We move so fast. We don't sit there and be like, yeah, I just left a space, right? Because we're calling it a new thing. Like, I'm leveling it up. It's like, well, where did you level up from? Just take a look back, because I think you gather your gifts, or you cement what gifts you've gained when you reflect.
Yes, absolutely. I think like we always talk about, I think that's also part of like the when you pray, right? When you take a moment, because maybe in the moment it's just maybe not naturally like part of that conversation that you want to have with God in any particular moment. But I think when we have the mindset, hey, I need to enter into His gates with thanksgiving. I need to enter into this prayer with something that I'm thankful for. Thank Him before I ask Him for anything. Acknowledge His grace and His mercy and His love and His providence and His provision, all that. I think that you slow down just enough, right? And maybe just as you're doing that, you start to see things through a different lens, and maybe even that even changes your prayer and what you're going to ask for, right? Maybe you ask for more faith. Maybe you ask for more strength, right? Maybe you're not asking to be absolved or to be rescued from a certain situation. You realize, hey, this is going to work out for my good, and I need to go through this, but I can't do it without you. So give me strength.
Right.
You see what I mean?
Right.
It just it changes the lens,
Yeah.
And just going back to this verse, Ezekiel 36:26, I will give you a new heart. I will put a new spirit in you. In my experience, you don't get the gift before you obey. You know what I mean? And so if you get the feeling in your heart and you're on, and you're on the fence and you're waiting for the perfect moment and this and that, and you're waiting for God to give you this spark of inspiration, in my experience, that's not how it works. When I decide to take that step, right, when I was on the fence and I was unhappy with my life and I was looking for direction and I was thinking, okay, I know I want to help people, and okay, well, let me look into nursing, right? It wasn't until I submitted an application or inquired on a specific program or school, then he started to open up certain doors. Then, you know what I'm saying? It started to make sense. And so like I've told you all the time, it wasn't until I took that step of faith that he lit the next step. Right? If I'm sitting at the base of the proverbial holy staircase, right, and I'm waiting for God to inspire me to take a step, no. He showed you the staircase. All right, at least he showed you the step, so there's another step. Take that first step, and then in my experience, he lights the next step. You see what I'm saying? God is, in my experience, God is a God of order, right? So if things are out of order, it's not going to happen. And we all want structure until what we think the structure should be is challenged by his plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're right. You said God. He is definitely a God of order, system, structures. Like the way He created this world, it was honestly just from a geeking out perspective, just mathematically, just scientifically beautiful.
I mean, it was.
But
dude, masterpiece is an understatement.
Understatement. The way he
Bro, when you anybody that's into, I don't even know what it's called. My words are escaping me, but when you look at the exact degrees that the Earth is tilt, and if it was any different, we would freaking melt from the sun, and if we were an inch closer, you know what I mean, there'd be no oceans, or whatever it is, or if we were an inch further, we'd be Pluto essentially, and inhabitable.
Talk about the how we're made. Carbon is like the element of life, right? And if there was anything else in the air, we just wouldn't be existing. Come on, man. It's just like
it's undeniable. It's undeniable. It's undeniable. It's undeniable.
Sorry, I didn't want to. Let's
it's good. No, it's good. It's good. We can go.
It's just
we can
like
go.
when people talk about my God,
Yeah,
man. I'm like,
playing.
come on, bro.
But you know what? I think and everybody's situation is different, but I think it's just fear, right? It's just fear of letting go.
Because how you think about somebody that awesome, or something that it goes beyond rational thinking. You're like, there's no way. I'm like, yes, there is.
But that's the thing. I think our human desire, right? Just like we talked about last episode with Adam and Eve. There's just this desire to run our own show. There's this human just desire to be in control.
Yeah.
Right. When our faith is literally the exact opposite. So.
Yeah.
Talking about that, right? So now we're talking about encouragement in stepping forward, like we talked about, right? Before you take that step, in order to get the next, what's the word I'm looking for? As you take a step of faith, He lights that next step. You gotta know that He's our biggest cheerleader. You know what I mean? He is literally our biggest cheerleader. You don't believe in yourself. You might not believe in yourself. I know that. I'm way too often the
culprit of that.
The culprit of that.
Yeah.
But like I try to acknowledge, hey, good. In a way, right?
Yeah.
If it's still like healthy, because the moment you start
Yeah, I see where you're going.
only
I
believing
see
in
where
yourself,
yep.
you
You lost.
you're lost.
You're
You're
blind.
lost, and you might
Yeah.
not even know that you're lost
Right.
until you are way, way, way far. But the beautiful thing is we're never beyond his reach.
You're right.
Right. So that's the good thing. But when I get to Philippians 3:13 and 14, it says, forgetting what is behind and straining toward what is ahead, I press on toward the goal to win the prize for which God has called me heavenward in Christ Jesus. I think it's important to remember, and I almost expect it. You know, I definitely consider myself an optimist, but maybe in this regard, no, I think there's still optimism. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is just because you are obedient, and just because you know in your heart you're following God's plan and this and that, that doesn't mean that everything, like, progress is going to feel good. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean that you might not still, right? Because, hey, I don't know, right? You can accept this new job, or you got accepted into, I don't know. You know what I mean? You know, you getting ready to go to school and be a doctor or whatever, but you got to maybe move out of state, and your girlfriend's not gonna follow you. You know what I mean? Or I don't know. You know what I mean? There might be most there. I'm not a fortune teller, but I just want to be careful with my words. But a lot of times, growth requires sacrifice, and that might just be simply, you can't hang out with your friends as much as you want to, right? In this season, right? Or you might have to cut some ties, or you might have to cut some habits that were serving you that's no longer serving you. It was good in this season, but it's not in this season. It doesn't have to necessarily be a sin. You know what I'm saying? But forgetting what is behind, right? Like we talked about, dropping the baggage, right? And straining. It says it in the Bible. Straining toward what is ahead. It's like a tug of war, right? And you got to literally, like, pull yourself forward. It's not always going to be easy, right? Like, progress is very rarely linear, right? And so it might suck, but don't let that discourage you, or keep you, or don't let the enemy distract you from the fact that you're still making progress. You're still making progress, and you saying no when you need to is gonna bring in more yeses from God. Oh, you trust me? What? You know what I mean? You trust me? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what was Salt Bay? You know what I mean? Just the blessings, just like this. The more you willingly say no to some things or yes to some things,
Yeah.
the more he just spring. I mean, that's just my experience. You know, what you think? I got the thing where I had to do the little thing.
Man,
Bro's been canceled, so I shouldn't compare God to Salt Bay. But you know what I mean? You get my point.
no, man, that's good. I don't know what else to say.
So I got
the straining got me.
Yeah.
The straining got me.
Straining. You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
forgetting what is behind, straining toward what is ahead. I press on toward the goal to win the prize for which God has called me heavenward in Christ Jesus. Like, I press on, like straining. I press on. These aren't words that we think of when we think of progress or blessings or moving heavenward. You see what I'm saying? We don't think about it, but that's usually how it goes. And when we look back, we're like, man, thank you that I went through that. You know what I mean? But when we're in it, we're like, God, remove this from me. And he's like, yo, this is actually going to make you stronger. This is actually going to equip you to be the person that I need you to be, to serve in your ministry in my kingdom.
I just have this
Preach.
crazy thought.
Okay.
The straining part, right? Like, progress is gritty.
Progress is gritty.
Gritty. It's
Ugly.
ugly.
In order to be the hooper that's on your level, how many hours did you have to spend in the gym?
Bro, and I'm not
You see what I'm saying? Like, right.
right? Go ask Kobe that. Go ask Jordan that, right? Like, Tom Brady, all of them. Bro.
Sacrificing time with his family, this and that. Tom Brady lost his wife because he was still pursuing.
He was in his craft.
You know what I mean? But look at all the
blessings,
countless,
all the
not even the blessings, the people he
hours.
inspired,
Yes.
or that he inspired, and you know what I mean? Like, he's gonna go down as, well, he's already
one of the greatest,
the GOAT.
He's one of the greatest
you know what I mean?
yeah.
He's in the Bible, the football Bible.
256 pick,
bro, crazy. Yeah,
in the
sixth round. But he believed. And I don't know this man from a corner on the cob, but he's inspired me to do the right thing, to keep going and to follow my heart.
Yes,
because I might lose some things along the way, but I'm not going to lose what matters most.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
And I think what's Ray Lewis. I think about him
Ray
too.
Lewis,
You know,
yeah,
just man. But what I was gonna say is this: what happened if Adam, because didn't fall, right? Prior to that, right? We were given everything.
Everything.
So I wondered to myself, like, I ain't saying God was behind, obviously, the fall, but
Was he not though?
I don't know.
Was he not though?
I don't know. The minute you just did that, I was like, dang, I can't
because if
I can't refute it because my thing is like it's tough because my thing is just like we are time and time again we have from inspiring people, from people who didn't make it, they're always said that growth is gritty, it is tough, it is not beautiful, but the reward is like, oh, amazing, right?
Yeah.
And for a moment, right?
Because just one thing, I just want to just pose a question. I want you to continue.
Yeah.
Because if what happened didn't happen, how would we know of his goodness?
And that's what I'm saying. My question is this: do we think that there would have been? How would he teach us adversity if he gave us everything?
Yep.
If we had everything, would there just be another task like, hey, I gave you all these tools, but like, I don't know.
Where's the growth? Where's the growth?
What assignment would he have then given? Would have been would we be then like, okay, I think about Satan, right?
Yep.
Maybe at that time he was like, hey, we're kind of beyond like the human aspect things. I need you guys to be warriors and defeat these demons.
There would have had to be something
for us to be
otherwise why?
What was our purpose?
What was the
right?
purpose?
Like I just think that it's obviously that fall was something, but we've definitely, as a human race or just as Christian people, believers, we've gotten up, right? And we've gotten up and we responded to the call, and we're trying our best every day to do something. But like, yeah, man, growth is gritty. New beginnings is gritty.
And we're not talking about the dance. We're not talking about the dance. We're not talking about the celebration.
Nah, man.
We ain't doing none of that.
It takes true resilience, man, and just like.
But it starts with a choice.
It starts with a choice. It starts with a decision.
Decision.
Because a choice I heard was somebody said a choice is something like you can choose this or that.
Yeah.
A decision is like, oh, I decide that's it.
But I feel like I can also decide this or this. I feel like you're mincing words.
Can you?
Yeah.
Can you decide this and that or choose this and that?
To me, they're interchangeable.
Is decision and commitment the same word to you?
Yes.
So if you made a commitment, are you choosing can you choose out of the commitment or not choose out of the commitment?
Of course.
Really?
I could decommit from my wife. I could choose not to honor that the commitment that I made to my wife. That's to me a decision and a commitment is the same thing. Like I can decide to make myself a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and I can also decide that I change my mind and I want ham and turkey. But I feel where you're coming from, but to me, it's interchangeable. That's gonna be good. Yeah, we're gonna have to do a deep dive.
You're on team choice.
I'm on team. Oh well.
No, you're on team choice.
I'm on team interchangeable.
Okay. Yes. You're on team interchangeable, and I'm on team that they're different.
They're forks in the road.
They're forks. Okay.
Yeah, to me, they're interchangeable. All right, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be good. All right, next episode. Write it down because I already forgot.
Yeah, I remember.
All right. All right. So I just want to give a little inspiration as we get ready to close. It's Psalm 40. Chapter 40, verse 3. Excuse me. It says, "He put a new song in my mouth, a hymn of praise to our God." Just like we've already spoken to, the words that we speak, and this is why I'm so quiet. People see me in the gym, or they know me from the gym or whatever, or from like the hardcore days, right? And they think I'm that way all the time. But it's for me, what you say matters, right? And I hate is a strong word, so I try not to use the word hate, but just for being honest and just being frank, we're just having a candid conversation.
Of course, yeah.
I hate complainers. I better yet, I should say, I hate the action of complaining. I hate when people choose to complain because I'm like, well, you might not have the faith that I do or whatever, or you might choose to go about it how you go about it. And obviously, right, if you're talking to someone that you trust and that you know, and maybe you're just venting, I get it. I get it. But I think that there's a way of speaking about it that doesn't speak life into the trouble that you're going through. You see what I'm saying? I choose to not say anything at all rather than give life to my disbelief or my fear in that moment. You know what I mean? And if I do, I like to, express myself, right? I'll express myself to you, but then I'll also express, look, this is just kind of what I got to go through, or I acknowledge my role in it, or something. You see what I'm saying? And so I really think that, like he says, right, he put a new song in my mouth. I think that it's important to bring some type of praise, bring some type of awareness, and keep that in your mouth. Or if it's just so dark and deep for you, got to do the hard thing and probably just keep your mouth shut. Just don't talk about it. Just don't give life to it. It's really, really easy. And I'm not saying like don't
Yes,
rely on
don't
your
give
people in
life
your
to it. Yeah,
community.
power in the tongue.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I think there's a way of going about it to where it's not, because for me, as soon as I start, giving life into it, and I get all riled up emotionally, and then it starts feeding into my, like, what's in my when what's in my brain starts coming out of my mouth, my actions start to follow in a way, right, where maybe I'm not moving as vigorously in the right direction, right? Maybe I'm just going slower or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And so it's like I'd rather just try to stay locked in and try to focus on just doing the right things as sort of the steps sort of reveal themselves to me. And I'm not saying that I have the right way. I'm just saying for me, like even in our playing days, if you're the type of player to talk trash and you want to get crazy, if I start talking trash back to you, I lose zest, I lose energy, because my power is in my silence and in my performance. I don't. Some players do, and that works
You're
for them.
you're a Kawhi.
Exactly. I don't get any. I don't get. As soon as you start talking to me in my mind, because I know how I would react, I think I got you. That empowers me. I'm about to bust yo. You know what? And that's empowering to me. But everybody's a little bit different. But I really think it would be helpful to just control your tongue. Be mindful of what you're talking about, what you're complaining about. Everything that goes into your mind doesn't have to come out of your mouth, and you just really want to be careful that if it does come out of your mouth, it doesn't lead to action. And obviously, be careful who you're talking to.
Yeah, that's great. You want to lead us off?
Yeah.
That's great.
Well, you can pray us out, dear Lord. We just thank you for this time together. We in the areas that that we need, we just ask for your forgiveness. We come to you as humble servants, and we just ask for continued providence and provision and grace and mercy, God. And we just thank you for this time together, and we just pray for us, for everyone that we love and that we know. For the people that we don't know, we just pray that you continue to bless us, and we pray for the people that don't like us and that we might not be too fond of, because you asked for us to pray for them as well. And we just pray, Lord, that you just continue to surround us with good people. Strengthen our minds and our hearts, God. And as you put the ideas and the desires in our heart, God, we pray that you continuously remind us that you are also necessary in order to see it through. So we just thank you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Boom.